Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? Okay, that's good right there. How's everybody doing tonight? I am doing good. It is cold here. 1 minute it's warm, the next minute it's cold. I'm trying to see if this camera is set up right. Everything. So how's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a wonderful Saturday. I hope everybody is staying warm, staying dry because it has been rainy here in Ohio. Okay, so welcome to Kiki Loves Nigeria. And for those who don't know me, which most people, some people do, some people don't, my name is Kiki, and I am from Dayton, Ohio. And what am I going to talk about tonight on this Saturday night? This cold Saturday night. I'm going to talk about who are the real land scammers in the Gambia. Okay, not who are the ones that we are speculating are the land scammers. Let me know if y'all can hear me good because I just realized my mic is right here. It's not plugged up. So if you can't hear me good, let me know so I can hook up my microphone. Okay. So we want to know, what does the data show about who the land scammers are? We know who the gossips may say the land scammers are. We know who they may say they are on YouTube, but who are they for real? Who does, the courts say the land scammers are? That's what we want to know. Who are the real land scammers? Who are the people facing charges for this kind of stuff? So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, not the people who are just, oh, we think, we speculate. No, we're not doing that. We want to know who the real people are. So why is this issue important? Well, you guys, after just doing this little bit of research, I've started on this topic. This is so important because this is a really big issue in the Gambia. This is a really big problem, okay? And the problem is something that was created by this new enterprise that's coming in, this capitalistic enterprise that's coming in, which is business. And there's nothing wrong with business, okay? There's nothing wrong with business. But you got to remember, when you have business, there's also, issues that go along with these new businesses. And this scamming is just one of them. It's pretty much just a result of just this new capitalistic enterprise that the Gambia is undertaking, of doing business, having an open business, being a part of a frontier economy. This is just what happens in a frontier economy. It's just the result of it. So that's why the issue is important, because a lot of people are investing. A lot of people are investing, and a lot of people are going there. Okay, more people than we know, because a lot of people are not on YouTube, you guys. A lot of families are truly packing up and going to the Gambia, buying land from people on the internet that they've never ever met, buying land that they've never ever seen. Now just imagine that. You packing up your whole family, you packing up your kids, you're packing up your wife, you're packing up your dog, your cat, everybody. You leaving everything you know. You taking your kids away from everything you know. They know, to go to a place that you've never ever seen. Never ever seen. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna get to the comments in 1 second. Okay. Um, that's why this issue is really important. Okay. It's really important because people are not being told the truth. People are truly being scammed out of everything. People think they're purchasing land and there's nothing there. People are paying for land and not even getting the documents that they need to show ownership of this land. This is happening time and time and time again, over and over and over again. And it's not just happening to us. That's what you got to understand. I'm thinking, when I first started researching this topic, like I told you guys last week, if this was something that was just happening to us, oh no, oh no. This is an international issue, and this is happening to Gambians. This is happening to Germans. This is happening to the Swedes. This is happening to the British people. This is happening to anybody who's trying to invest in the Gambia. And that's what makes it so wrong. And that's what makes it so dangerous. Because it can impact people coming there. You know, it can turn people off from them coming there. I think I want to put this mic on. So I'm going to have my son hook it up. Blair, come hook this up. Put it inside the port at the bottom. Because for he's playing this game, y'all, in a minute, y'all going to start hearing him talking and me talking at the same time. So to avoid that, we're going to hook up the mic. Okay, thank you. Okay, so that's why this issue is important, because people are just walking away from everything they know, you know, going to a dream, like Mr. Thomas said, that's not even there. Going to land to a place where they think there's some land, think there's some house, think there's some property, and there's nothing. There's nothing. First, you have to understand how land ownership works in Africa. We don't understand that. We understand private property. We understand that, but we don't understand communal property. That's what Africa has, communal property. That's why when they talk about so many people own the same land, they're selling the same land, and family comes and claims the land. That's because that land in Africa, in that village, is communal property. It's not private property like we have here. So you got to first understand what you're dealing with, who you're dealing with. And we don't understand that. So I'm looking at these videos and I'm thinking, wow, we don't even know what we're doing. People don't even know what we're doing. Because like I said, it's not just us. It's not just us. But at least we can educate ourselves. At least we can do that. We can educate ourselves. Before we play this dangerous game, let's know the rules to the game. Okay? Let's educate ourselves to the rules to this game. And from what I'm seeing, this rules to this game is you can't trust anybody. You can't trust anybody. You got to trust yourself. You got to trust yourself. That's who you have to trust, yourself. You got to go over there. You got to look at the land. Don't buy anything. Don't even talk about buying anything till you go over there, look at the land, look around, look in the neighborhoods. Look at all the different neighborhoods. Decide which neighborhood you like. Decide where you want to live. Then talk about property purchases and land purchases. Stay there for 2 or 3 months at a time before you talk about moving your entire family there. Stay there during the rainy season before you uproot your whole life in America to go to a place that you know nothing about, but you saw some people on YouTube who told you that it looked good and you believed it. And these scamming people I'm about to talk about tonight, they're not even on YouTube. That's how wide this problem is. This isn't just a YouTube problem. This isn't just a Blacksit problem. This is a huge problem in the Gambia, a huge problem. This is a problem in the United States. This is an international problem. That's what you guys got to realize. This isn't a Gambia problem. This goes on in the United States. Land scamming goes on in the United States all the time. All the time. And it's done the same way. Fake documents. I'll have fake documents. And I'll tell you these documents are real and they'll look real. And I'll sell you this land that I don't own, or this land is in a family dispute, which means that, say my uncle wants to sell the land, okay? But I'm in the United States. I don't know my uncle wants to sell the land. So I find out later on, my uncle wants to sell the land. Well, my uncle can't sell that land, not without my permission, because that's communal land. That land belongs to me. That land belongs to my children. That land belongs to my grandchildren. How dare he sell that land without our permission? That's what communal property, communal land is. That's what we first need to understand. That's how that happens. That's how you can buy land, have the documents for it, and then somebody from Germany, somebody from the United States, somebody from just out of nowhere can come and say, oh, that's my land and I want it back. And guess what? Guess who's going to lose? Guess who's going to lose? You are. You are. That private property that we keep thinking, talking about we don't own land in America, you can truly own land in Africa. Really? Really? Can you truly own land in Africa? Well, maybe it depends on how you define ownership of land. And why would you want to go to a place that you've never seen before and just want to own some land? That doesn't make sense to me. You don't know nothing about the people. You don't know nothing about the culture, but you want to do the highest thing that you can do in that country, and that's own a piece of property, a piece of that land. What's going on here, people? What's going on here? I mean, I'm confused. At this point, I'm just confused. I'm just really confused. Because it kind of looks like we're just going over there because we think we can dominate over there. We think we can dominate over there. And then when we get over there and we run into all these roadblocks and we get scammed, we want to say the Gambia is such a bad place. But who's really the bad person here? Who's really the villain here? Is it the person going to exploit? Or is it the person being exploited? So how did I get this information? This information tonight came from Facebook. Ooh, there's a lot of groups on Facebook. It's a really good group on Facebook called What's Up Gambia. Thank you to those people, whoever you are, sir, madam, ma'am. Thank you for not making that group private. That survey you did, thank you for not making that private. This was so interesting what Gambians were saying. This wasn't even Americans, you guys. These were Gambians who were being scammed by their own people, by their own people. Now, Gambians couldn't detect the scammer. No, we don't detect the scammer. So this information came from Facebook. It also came from, of course, YouTube. But most of this tonight did not come from YouTube because the YouTube land scamming people are separate, okay? These people are legitimate businesses, have concrete brick and mortar businesses inside the Gambia, okay? That's what kind of places, that's what we're talking about here, okay, tonight. That's why my mind was blown, because it was so many legitimate, licensed, and registered businesses that were accused of the same thing. So that's how I got most of this. If they came from newspaper articles, they came from All of Africa, which is an international newspaper, and different newspaper articles in Africa, basically newspaper articles. They were newspaper writings in Africa in different countries, but they were about land scamming in the Gambia, and they were about particular real estate companies. Okay, so now we're going to stop and take some questions. Okay, Mr. Paul Williams says, every dog has its day. Juliet's time must come. Well, I think all those people who are scamming, I think their times are coming. From what I've been seeing, these people, soon as the Gambian government gets wind of what you're doing, they will prosecute you. They will. These people have been prosecuted. A lot of these people, soon as the Gambian government feels like they have enough to prosecute you, they do. So they're not sitting there willy-nilly just saying, oh, come on, come over here and do what you want to do. No, they're not saying that. They're saying come over here, enjoy our frontier economy. But if you try to take advantage of people and we find out, oh, that's you. That's you. And you're going to have to deal with the consequences and the repercussions of that. So if this is what she is doing, if she's legitimately, but see, from what I'm seeing, okay, now we got to go back to how land scamming was defined. Remember, we always got to talk about the definition. Land scamming, how we defined land scamming, was how the post office inspector general defined land scamming. Okay. And that was that they're selling you this land. Okay. And they're telling you it's a perfect property, a perfect retirement property, or a perfect vacation property. But in all actuality, the land is not anything that you would really want to live on, or it's out in like way out in a village or out in the country, away from everything, and you really can't do anything with it. There's no infrastructure there, but they're not telling you this, okay? You find this part out later after you see the land. Or even if you get to that far, get to that, that far in it. Some people don't even make it that far. Some people pay all the money and believe they're going to get the documents, and they never, ever get the documents. So there's two different types of land scamming going on. They sell you some garbage land, or they'll sell you some land that you never see. You never get the documents, you never touch it, you never feel it, but you never get the documents for it, even though you pay for it. Or the land is owned by somebody else, or they don't even have a right to sell the land. So, but like I said, if this is truly what she's doing, if she is truly doing this, the Gambian government will find out. And if they prosecute their own, you think they won't prosecute somebody who's come there to take advantage of their frontier economy? A frontier economy is supposed to grow your country. It's supposed to be a win-win. It's a win-win for me. It's a win-win for them. So they're not going to take a chance of you just coming there messing it up for everybody, because that's going to make people scared to invest in that frontier economy. Nobody wants that. That's not the purpose of the frontier economy. That's working against the purpose of the frontier economy. So I believe wholeheartedly, just from what I've seen, that if this is what this lady is doing, then she will be held accountable for it. She will. She will. Trust me, she will. So let's see. Hi, Kiki. Neil here. I was in Gambia a couple of weeks ago. I met Quasi Boyd there. He really helped me out a lot. He was a really real brother to me. Oh, thank you for letting me know that. Yeah, I think just from the research, I think Quasi is a really nice dude. He's a really nice dude. And thank you for sharing that. Because see, people won't say that he helped them. They still want to say the man is a scammer. They still want to say the man is a cheater, the man is a liar. Even after everything, they still want to put this man down and talk about him like he's a dog. So thank you so much for taking your time out on your Saturday night to come and share that. Okay, she has more. Listen, you guys. It says, he helped me with a banking situation when I transferred money from the US to Gambia. Thank you so much again for sharing that, because see, those are the things we need to know, who we can trust and who we can't trust. And you guys, this is a real person, just like we are, who went to the Gambia, needed help. She turned to Quasi. He was there to help. But according to everybody else, he's a crook, he's a liar, he's a scammer, he's a thief. But not according to this person, Neil Chill. Not according to Neil Chill. Thank you for sharing again. Thank you so much. So let's see, who is it? Greetings, Kiki and chat. Greetings to you, real Africana. And let's see. And when in the Gambia, workers at the land office tried to scam me out of a lot of money. Oh my God. To register my land in my name. He turned me on to the Gambian lady who told me how to handle it, and he saved me money. Thank you. But see, this is the things that bother me. Thank you, Neil Chill, for telling us that. Because see, what if you didn't know about Quasi? What if a lot of people don't trust him now because of what Miss Phoenix Rain and Miss Shantae West, no, White, did and said about him, and how the happy companion refused to support him when he needed them in a time of need. So a lot of people won't turn to him. So a lot of people will just get scammed out of all this money because they don't have anybody they can trust. But thank you for taking the time to let people know that when they go to the Gambia, that Quasi is a resource for them and that you can trust him. But the research showed us that. It told us that. So we knew that. But people don't want to believe it. But thank you so much for sharing that. That's really sweet of you and kind. Thank you so much. So you guys remember that. Neil, how much tell us how much they tried to scam you out of and how much it really costs, because we don't know. Right, we don't know. Good point, Mr. Williams. Tell us how much they scammed you out of. They tried to anyway. These are things that make you tired of being in Africa, though. Look, I was supposed to pay 15,000 Dalasi, but oh my God, look at this, y'all. But they wanted me to pay 30,000 Dalasi. That sounds like some Nigerian mess to me. That's what goes on in Nigeria on the regular. On the regular. And they figure you don't know. So I'm going to just do it. I'm going to see if I can get it off. Some people will just pay it and say whatever and keep going because they don't know anybody there but other Americans who don't have any hookups and who haven't been there 5 years or so and know people there and who have family there, who have connections there. Because see, that's the key in Africa, in any country that you're in. You've got to have connections. You've got to be connected. You've got to be interconnected, and you got to be interconnected with the right people. The right people. So when your back is against the wall, you know who you can turn to. And you get the right information instead of the American price and the American information. That's crazy, man. That's what they do. That's just what they do. That's just the way it is right now. The Gambian government is lazy and corrupt. Now, I'm a government worker. I'm a public servant. I would never say or support a view that a government was lazy and corrupt. I would say maybe some of the workers inside of that institution is lazy and corrupt. But to say the government as a body, as a working body, is lazy and corrupt, I could never say that. I could never agree with that. Never. Never. But you got to remember, I have a love for government. I see government in its purest form. I see government for what it really, for what it's supposed to be. At the heart of government, I know what it is. And it's not lazy and corrupt. But I know civil servants. I've worked with civil servants who are lazy and corrupt. I have public servants who are lazy and corrupt. But that doesn't make the whole system lazy and corrupt. That's just my opinion, though. And I respect your opinion. If you believe they're lazy and corrupt, you're entitled to that opinion. We're all entitled to what we believe. We're all entitled to that. We're all entitled to that. So let me see what else questions we got tonight. And Neil says, then when I got suspicious about, so you felt like the price wasn't right. Then she said, I called Quasi. He turned me on to a lady that he knew that's in the system, and she said they were lying, don't pay it. That's what they do, though. But that's government. That's government workers. That's not the government. That's not the institution. That was that worker. Because if it was the institution, it would be a policy that says, okay, when you see foreigners, overcharge them. You're not going to see that. So you can't say. If you see foreigners, just be lazy. Anything that has to do with making government work, just be lazy. That's not policy. So it's individuals who decide that's what they're going to do. But I know what you're saying, real Africana, because remember, I worked for the government when I was in Cameroon. And trust me, we went to work at 10 o'clock in the morning. We were supposed to open at 8. We did open at 8, but we didn't get there at 10 o'clock. And then we went to lunch at 12:30, and then we were gone by 3. But that wasn't government. That was us. That was us. That was us. We were doing that. The workers, the civil servants were doing that. And we knew when to do it. We knew when not to do it. When certain department managers or heads were around, we couldn't do it. When certain officials were around, we couldn't do it. But we knew when to do it and when not to. Yeah. So people would say, oh, they're lazy, they're corrupt. But no, it was just what we were doing because we could get away with it. Because government is understaffed. It is understaffed. Everywhere you look, they don't have enough workers, and they don't have enough talented workers. That's another issue with government. They won't have talented people because talented people can go to the private sector and make more money. So they don't get all the talent that they should because people just aren't interested in serving their country anymore. And everybody knows, in Africa, government doesn't pay well, So that's my view. Okay. So long story short, getting back to Neil, I'm sorry, Neil. So long story short, they wanted 600 USD. What? Instead of 300 USD, I was supposed to really pay. I'm so glad that you check. See, that's the point of doing your research before you go, so you know. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. So she knew, okay, I could trust Crazy Boy because I done followed him for a minute. I know what's going on with him. I done researched this land stuff. I know how much I'm supposed to pay. I know when it doesn't sound right. So I'm smart enough to know, hey, this don't sound right. Let me call somebody who does know, who's been proven innocent by a court of law in the Gambia of all criminal charges. Let me call this person who's been in the Gambia for 5 years plus, who's been doing this for real for a long time. Let me call this person. Then what does he do? Send her to the right person who lets her know that's too much. But that's what you got to do. That's what you're going to have to do. That's what you truly are going to have to do to not be scammed. Because if not, you're going to constantly be in this situation. You're going to constantly find yourself in the situation that these people, not even these people, oh my God, the people are finding themselves in. Because like I said, it's not just foreign people. It is Gambian people who are finding themselves in this scam situation. Because most of them are in the United States or they're in someplace else. They're sending money back to buy land, trusting people because they're thinking, hey, you Gambian, I'm Gambian. You're not going to scam me. But oh yeah, they will. Okay, so that's what we are tonight. Okay, so the research topic was who are the land scammers in the Gambia, and we're going to talk about who they are, who we found out that they are. We're also going to talk about we talked about this already, why land scamming was trending. We talked about that last week. And we haven't got to where land scamming is going on the most in the Gambia. We'll be getting to that And we talked about the purpose of land scamming in the Gambia last week. And basically, that's just to supplement people's income because there's no income. You know, the tourist sector for the Gambia was their money maker. That's their money maker. Okay, that brings in foreign currency. We talked about the importance of foreign currency last week. Okay, so if this is your money maker and it brings in foreign currency, and that's stopped abruptly, just stopped, shut down. People who benefited from that sector, they have to do something, people. It wasn't like here where we got stimulus checks. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like here where people who like me, who don't normally qualify from unemployment, got unemployment. They were just throwing money at people. So it wasn't like that. Where we were getting help, they weren't getting help. People weren't getting help in the Gambia. You had to help yourself. Where we had pandemic food stamps, where people who never got food stamps got food stamps, we were getting all kind of economic benefits here, but they weren't getting anything. You got to understand that. You got to get this picture clear in your head, but you won't be able to do that until you see it. Because even though I studied it, when I got there and I saw it, it still wasn't the same. The impact was different when I got there and saw a ghost town where it was normally vibrant and it was just a ghost town. Places were closed. Yeah, it was shocking. It was shocking because from somebody who works for city in economic development, I understand what that means for that city. I understand the impact that's going to have short term and long term. The devastation that's going to have on the poorest people in that economy, because that's who it hits the hardest, the poorest people. Yeah. So you got to see that to truly understand that. You can read about it all day, all night. But to to see the people sitting around doing nothing day after day after day, oh, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. And who's being impacted by the land scammers? We all are. We all are. Anybody who's interested in buying land or property in the Gambia, you're going to be impacted by this. So you better take heed. Do what Neil Chill did. Go for yourself. Do it yourself. I know she has some type of help buying the land. You know, we know that. But she went over there. She didn't let somebody do this whole thing without her seeing the land, without her going there, without her being a part of this transaction. And that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. So you don't be taken advantage of, because if not, you're going to be a victim. Trust me. Trust me, because I couldn't believe all these Gambian people. They were Gambians, people. Gambians who were from there. One person who I saw the video on YouTube, this man had a friend, okay? This friend said he was selling land. The man, he was like, okay, I'll let you know when I want to buy this land. He went and talked to the wife. The wife was like, no, something's just not right. I don't feel comfortable about this. Let's not do this. So the husband was like, well, come on, this is my friend. I trust him. He's not going to scam us, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? The wife says, okay, she finally gives in against her first thought was not to do business with this man. She gives in. Well, guess what, people? The man scams them. The man is their friend. The man is a childhood friend. He took their money and ran. There was no land. There was nothing. They never heard from him again. After he got their $3,000, that was it. They didn't hear from him anymore. They contacted his family. The family kept saying, well, we're going to tell him to call you. We're going to tell him to reach out to you. But nothing, nothing, nothing. So that's $3,000 just gone, just gone. And that's not the only people this is going to. This is not the only time this has happened. This happens time and time and time and time again. And that's what's just disturbing about this. That's what's disturbing. So again, we did a case study, qualitative analysis. Our sources for this section tonight were articles, newspaper articles. It was Facebook groups. It's so many groups, and the stories in the groups, you guys, will just break your heart. You can just be in that group reading for hours. Stories of people who were scammed out of land, scammed out of money. And these are Gambians over and over and over again. People waiting 2, 3 years. No land, no money, no documents, no nothing. No nothing. No nothing. $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. And people in America know that's not no chump change. That's not no change, people. That's some money. That's some money. That's something you saved for. That's something you've worked for. That's something you just can't throw up in the air and it's gone like that. So that's another reason why this is just serious. And you guys, we got to be diligent, and we have to be on our, like we used to say in school, we have to be on our P's and on our Q's. You know, we have to be. Because if not, you're going to be taken advantage of. So the newspaper articles were mainly where we got these in Facebook groups. Again, the method that we use this quantitative analysis because it's time sensitive. We collect data when the events are going on. So you get firsthand primary source information about the event, okay? It's not like somebody's going to write the story 10 years from now and tell us what happened. No, we are getting the information as it occurs. And that's why we're using a quantitative analysis, okay? And we also, quantitative analysis, it also analyzes conversations. We do a lot of analyzing conversations. And we do this because it brings out insights, but it's very time consuming. And that's why you guys have seen the videos slow way down, because before the other study, it was videos. I could watch them easy, make clips, cut clips out the videos, bam, 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 it's out. This, no, no. This I have to read, 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 and reread, and reread, and reread, and then take notes on what I reread 3, 4, 5 times. Okay? That's how extensive this information is. But that's what they said about this type of research. It is very time consuming because that's what you have to do. But it's important to use if the issue is complex, like land scamming in the Gambia. It's complex. Land scamming is a complex issue, and we want to know why it is occurring. So we didn't have a choice but to use a qualitative analysis. So now I want to read you. Oh, let's read these comments. Okay, I said I was going to stop and read the comments. So let's do that before we go to, I want to read you some of what people are saying. Oh, you made an island vibration. I'm so glad. Hey, Kiki, what's up? Nothing. I'm glad you made it, though. That's good. Let's see. I love your comment and determination. Oh, thank you. Yeah, because people need to be informed. People need to really be informed about what's going on. So here we go. Okay. We talked about land scammers definitions. Okay, so now what we're about to do, I want to start talking about these companies. These are, again, these are companies in the Gambia, real estate companies who sell property. Okay, sell property, they sell land. Some of them will even construct your house. Okay, these three, I think it's three comments that I'm going to read you are from Facebook, a Facebook group. Okay, it's called What's Up in the Gambia? What's Up in the Gambia? And he talks about different issues in the Gambia. And Gambians go on there and they share their experiences. So this person said solid properties are the big. Oh, the question that he asked, this guy did a survey, okay, and he said, who are the biggest land scammers in the Gambia? Okay, he said from what he could find from the survey that he did on What's Up in the Gambia, he said the biggest land scammers were this company called GAM Housing and Real Estate and African Properties. Okay. According to that survey that he did, oh, I'm sorry, it's called What's Up on Gambia. What's on Gambia? What's on Gambia? That's what it's called. What's on Gambia? He did a survey where he asked people, it was a qualitative analysis. He asked people, who are the biggest scammers in the Gambia? And the results that he got from after he finished his survey was this company called GAM Housing and GAM Housing and African Properties. Okay. There were more companies that appeared in this survey. So I want to read you these and then I'll read you the comments, okay, in this survey. So the other companies that appeared in this survey was a company called Koring. I'm going to have to spell it because I don't want to mispronounce it. Korngba, Koringba Real Estate. Okay. So Koringba Real Estate, according to the people on this survey, they sell plots with fake documentation. They sell you land they do not own, and they're currently facing legal summons to pay customers who bought property from them in 2018. Okay, so this is one of the companies this is an additional company other than GAM Housing and African Properties that came up in this survey. Okay, and this company is currently under a court order demanding that they pay back people this money that for this housing, these real estate deals. Okay, the person who was the CEO of this company, Yakuba Sanyang, that's his name, Yakuba Sanyang. I hope I'm saying it right. I have to tell you that he was on this post also on this conversation, and he said he denied any affiliation with this company. Okay, with this Koringba Real Estate. So this Sanyang gentleman, he came on there and he said that he denied any affiliation with the above real estate company. So he said he had nothing to do with this real estate company. He doesn't know anything about them. Okay. So then there was another company on there called Sunu. I guess that's how you pronounce it. SUNU, GAM Housing Estate. This company is owned by or affiliated with a gentleman by the name of Mr. K. Dibia, Dibba. Please forgive me if I'm not pronouncing this right, but I'm doing my best. Okay, this has been an ongoing court issue for 2 years now. These people are seeking money back for seeking their money back or the plots that they paid for. They're still waiting for a decision. So this case with this company, Sunu GAM Housing Estate, has been in court for 2 years now, and the people are still waiting for a decision on that case. Okay. We have more people. Solid Properties. Remember that name. Okay. Remember Solid Properties. Solid Properties, they help people from the UK, from the US, from Sweden, and from Germany buy land. Okay, sounds like a good deal, right? But they tell the people that you have to complete your payment before you get the documentation to your land, which is not true. Okay, but it will sound true to us because here in America and here in the West, UK, US, Sweden, Germany, we kind of all function on the same banking system. We would think that would be true. We would think, okay, yeah, I got to pay off my land and then I get the document of ownership. But no, you're not. It doesn't work like that in the Gambia. You get your documentation before that, before you pay it off completely. Okay. So they bought the land, they paid it off completely, and they have not received their documentation for their land to this day. So to this day, they have not received the documentation for the land that they purchased. Okay. They claim that the company will make customers believe that the land must be paid in full before they get their land purchase documents or after payment. But after the payment is completed, after you pay all this money, you never ever get your document. Okay. Then we have the number one on Mr. What's on Gambia survey. We have Gambia Housing Real Estate. Okay. Gambia Housing Real Estate is owned by, the CEO is a Duragba. I hope I'm saying this right. Please forgive me. Durogba, Drogba. Duragba Laman. I don't know. Mboge. Involved. So he bought a house. I'm sorry, this isn't the owner. This is a victim. Mr. Laman is a victim. He bought a house in 2017 from this GAM Housing Real Estate. As of 2021, this year, he still cannot get documentation of his purchase. So imagine that. He's paid this house off. I'm sorry, he's paid this land purchase off. He paid it off in 2017. Okay. It is now 2021, going into 2022. This man has still not received documentation of ownership of his property. There was a WhatsApp group created for this Gambia housing real estate victims. Okay. He has scammed so many people, they said, who are Gambian and who are not Gambian. Okay. They also said that he has a court case in Bundung Court. That's Bundung, that you can go to that court and you can check and you can see that this GAM housing real estate has a case presently open in their court for this real estate scam. Then we have Access Real Estate, which is around Jaliba Junction. Then we have Access. They really didn't give me much information on Access, so I wanted to kind of take that one out because if we don't have really any, you can't. To me, it's not fair to say, okay, this person's a scammer, but you're not giving us any information about how they sold you land that you with fake documentation, or sold you land that you couldn't live on, that they sold you a dream of some land. So they didn't give any of that. So we're not going to talk about them because we don't know. We don't even know what they did. Were you not set? Because some of the stuff now was customer service issues. It really, to me, wasn't scamming. It was more, well, these document stuff, how we define land scamming with the documents, yes. With the multiple people owning the land, yes. Okay. But poor customer service, unprofessional, That to me is not scamming. That's just that they have got poor customer service and they're not professional. So some people didn't know the difference, in my opinion, of scamming and poor customer service and unprofessional. Okay, so let's continue. So we have Star Property. Star Property scammed someone out of $10,000. After they scammed that person, there were two more accusers who accused their CEO. His name is Laman Singhatch, and he's presently going to court. So this case is presently in court in the Gambia, okay? He was court ordered, the company was court ordered to cease, do you hear me, people? To stop all operations. So that's why I say, let me just add on to this. That's why I say government is not lazy and corrupt. This is what government does. When I find out that you're corrupt, when I find out that you're lazy, when I find out that you're making me look bad, after I give you a license to practice business in my country, it may take me a little bit of time to find out because I'm the government and I'm a heavy machine and I move slowly. And sometimes I have a lot of dead weight on me. But when I find out, I'm going to take care of you. You will be dealt with. And this, look what happened. He's presently going to court, and the court ordered the company to cease all operations. Complaints have been filed with the Serious Crimes Unit. Now listen, this part was crazy right here, y'all. Listen to this. They also claimed that the Akalo verbally, now the Akalo, to my understanding, this is like a chief over this village. And he kind of decides, you have to get his permission, his okay for the land to be purchased. Okay. So this Akalo, he signed and he also wrote it down that the land had other owners. That the land has an original owner. Like there's somebody else who owns this land, and that this man was not buying this land. Okay. These people were not buying this land. These people were actually leasing this land. Okay. So get that. So these people were under the assumption that they were buying this land, not leasing this land. Okay. When they talked to the Akalo, the Akalo gave them something in writing, and he also told them verbally that the land was owned by someone else, but they had the right to lease the land. Now listen to what happened to the Akalo. Okay. The customers said after the Akalo told them that, they told the Akalo they were forwarding a complaint to the Serious Crimes Unit. Okay. 2 weeks later, guess what? The Akalo was dead. The Akalo was dead. So the person who had the documents, the person who told them that, was gone. Was gone. Yeah, was gone, just like that. That was the end of him. That was the end of their health. That was the end of the information that they had to what was really going on. So this case is presently going through the court system. Now we have another one. Let me see. We need to take a break. We're going to finish these and then we'll move to the court cases. Yeah, the comments and then the court cases. Okay. All these are court cases though that we're reading tonight. Okay. So the United Real Estate Group, United Real Estate, this company sold land to a group of teachers. Now, in the Gambia, you might not know, but teachers in Africa don't make very much money. Okay. They don't get paid like teachers in America. Teachers in America get paid pretty nice. They should get paid more, but they get paid pretty nice. So these teachers bought this land from this United Real Estate company. Okay. The group of teachers, all of a sudden they find out that the real estate company changed ownership. They changed managers. They changed management. Somebody else is the managers now. They renamed the company and everything. Everything is all of a sudden changed. The teachers approached them about their land or their money. All the United Real Estate Company did was insult the teachers and refuse to give them their land or any money. This case did not say whether United Real Estate Company is in court or not. So we're not going to say that that one is in court because we don't know. We don't know what happened with that one. Now we're going to move to Taranga. Taranga Real Estate. Taranga Real Estate, customers purchase land, okay? For 5 months, they've waited for their documentation. This was after they completed the purchase of their land. They never, ever received it. To this date, they have not received the documentation of ownership of their land. That company also is not in court, or we don't have proof. We don't have anything that tells us that they are in court. They could be, we don't know, but we're not going to say it because we don't know. Now we're at Diamond Property. If you guys have any comments, put them in the comment section for me. I'm going to check them in 1 second. Or questions about these companies or what I'm saying. Diamond Properties. So Diamond Properties took over $4 million from civil servants. Now, civil servants, they're another group that do not make much money. Everybody knows civil servants don't make much money. So, well, in the United States, they make pretty good, especially the federal ones. Well, anyway, they took their money. They have not received their land. They have not received their money. They haven't received documentation of ownership. Nothing. Nothing. Excuse me. So the trend is just take the money and go. Just take the money. I don't give you no land. I don't give you no document. I don't give you nothing. I just take your money and go. So here we go again. Universal Properties. 3 years these people have been waiting for land. No land, no money. Again, these two companies, these last companies we're reading, none of these companies, we have documentation or proof or statements that these companies have been prosecuted by the Gambian court system. We don't know that. So African Properties. African Properties is another one company that 4 people have accused that once they asked for their money back, they were, oh, this one was crazy. Okay, listen to this one, y'all. This is the last one that I could do because it was so many. I had to just stop. It was so many that I just could not take anymore. So maybe next week I'll look on there and get some more, but I couldn't take any more for tonight because it was just too many. So this one, African Properties. So 4 people ask for their money back, okay? One of them actually traveled to the Gambia to get his money, okay? He told the boss, the CEO of the company, that he wanted to meet him to talk about getting his money back because the CEO, of course, was not trying to get him his money back. So the boss, for some reason, he wanted to meet the man at night. The man, was like, he wasn't thinking. He was like, okay, he'll meet him at night. So what happened? The company had the customer arrested that wanted his money back, that traveled to the Gambia to get the money back, and said, the owner told the police that this man had some scissors and that he was going to stab him with these scissors because he couldn't give him, he was demanding a refund on his money. So guess what? The customer was arrested. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? So in this conversation, they basically felt like this man, the CEO, planned this and set this man up to have him arrested because he came there demanding his money back. That's why I said this is really not only taking your money, this is something dangerous because if people will go to the point of, scamming you out of your money, what will they not stop at? They're not going to just give that money back like that. That's a lot of money. If they had to scam you for that money, you think they're going to just say, oh, here you go. You can have this money back. I don't need it. Oh, all of a sudden, I don't need it anymore. No, it's not going to work like that. They're not going to give you anything back. And if you make too much noise, look, like this man did, look what happened to him. They had him arrested, set the whole thing up. The people in the conversation thread felt like he set the whole thing up to have this man thrown in jail and arrested because he dared to ask for his money back, to demand his money back, because he could not give him documentation, and he could not give him any land, could not even show him plots of land that he owned. This happened many, many, many times. Okay, so we got any questions about that so far? That was just really disturbing. So, but that we're not done. We got more. So let's see. Greedy. Oh, hey, Places and Spaces. She says, greetings, Kiki. Thanks for keeping people informed about these leeches preying on our people. And you know what? That's what they are. That's the only way you can describe this, is a leech. That's what it is. They're leeching on our passion for Africa. They're leeching on our love for Africa. And they're leeching on those dollars that come from America, that accompany African Americans. Because African Americans are the most wealthy diasporan ethnic group in the diaspora. So that's why everybody's coming after us. That's why everybody wants us. Just like I was watching one of African Picnics videos. They don't call themselves that anymore. I think they call themselves Queen Jody and AP. And well, I didn't watch it all the way through. I stopped because I had to just think about it. So they had a video talking about this land, this African American lady touches her land for the first time. I think that's the name of it. Probably wasn't. Probably messing it up, but it was something like that. So I'm watching the video. I clicked on the video. Then I see that this lady she has a Jamaican accent. She doesn't have an African American accent. She has a Jamaican accent. So I'm thinking, why would she describe her as African American? Why would she just say a Jamaican American or a Jamaican lady or somebody from Jamaica? I don't understand why she described this woman as African American, because I'm sure if you ask, I have friends who are Jamaican, who are from Jamaica, and who live in, I have a friend who was born in America. Her family is from Jamaica. She was born in America. But if you ask Candace, her name's Candace, where are you from, Candace? You know what she says? Jamaica. But I was born in America. But she identifies herself as a Jamaican. So I'm just like, even my Puerto Rican friends who were born in New York, they say I'm Puerto Rican. So I'm just confused as why they identified as African American. Why they said she was African American. I don't know. Can somebody tell me why? Because I'm thinking it's just to target our dollars, to target our views, to target our repat movement, to target us, to get us to watch, to get us to get interested in them, so we'll start going to them to start buying money, so we can start buying land from them. And I'm confused how they even started selling land. Because from what I've seen from them, these people didn't have much money when they went to the Gambia. They didn't have much money. They were struggling. And then all of a sudden, they got a restaurant. Then all of a sudden, they went from the restaurant to selling land. And I'm confused. Do you own a restaurant, or do you sell land, or do you do both? That's why I said the YouTube land scammer. I'm not going to say they're land scammers because we don't know that. What I'm going to say is the people on YouTube who sell land, they're different from these people we're talking about tonight. These people, they sell land and property for real. This is their business. Okay. These people on YouTube, it seems like this land stuff is they side hustle. Like, oh, they selling land. They got a real estate company selling land. I think I'm gonna try that. I think I can do that. That's more like what they are, you know. So let's get to these comments. Joanna says, I have a question. Why aren't other foreigners getting scammed in Africa? They are. What are African Americans doing wrong? They are. Yeah, they are. In the Gambia, they are. Everybody getting scammed over there. They are. In the Gambia, everybody is getting scammed. It is an equal opportunity scam in the Gambia. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. They're scamming anybody and everybody. This company we just read about. Who was it? Which one was it? That scam the UK people, the Swedish people, the American people. They still scam solid properties. We're going to talk about them again in a minute. Okay, solid properties. Remember those? They scammed people from the UK, US, Sweden, Germany. They made all those people from all those countries complete their land sales, and then didn't give them any money. Didn't give them any documentation, and didn't give them any land. And why is it that what are African Americans doing wrong that makes us victims of land scamming? What I think we're doing wrong is that we don't do enough research. We don't, we're too, African American people are very trusting people at heart. At heart, we trust you. You got to give us a reason not to trust you. Okay. So, especially if you love Africa, and especially if you African, and especially if you in Africa, we let our guard down and we open up our heart because we're home. We're talking about home. We're talking about the motherland. We're talking about the land of our great great grandmothers. So we let our guard down. We let our guard down and we open our hearts and we make ourselves victims. Over and over and over again, we make ourselves victims. But to this crime, I can't even say that's really that our open hearts is the case because, well, yeah, I think that's the case. And now that I look at this, I think the open hearts is the case because all of these people have an open heart for Africa, the German person, the Swedish person, and they could be Gambians that are just in Sweden and Germany, and the UK person, and the USA person, the African American person, all of those people have something in common, and they want to relocate, they want to repatriate, they want to go back to Africa, they want to go to Africa, they want to live in Africa. So they all have something in common, and that's that love and that open heart for Africa. So I would say now that it is that open heart for Africa that they're tapping into and that they're exploiting. And that's why the exploitation is so real and so international, because that love and that openness, that's like a personality trait for somebody attracted to Africa. For somebody who truly loves Africa. Now, everybody in Africa now don't truly love Africa. Like we've been talking about, there's a lot of people over in Africa just exploiting Africa and Africans. They really are. They're there for the exploit. They are there for the exploit. But then there are people there with open arms and open hearts. But why does it happen to us? What are we doing wrong? From, like I said, what are we doing wrong? From what I can say from African Americans, we don't educate ourselves. We don't. We won't take the time to research a subject. We won't take the time to go look for ourselves. We would rather believe what somebody else tells us than go look for ourselves. And some people, yeah, you can believe what they say, but no, my grandmother always told me, don't believe what somebody tell you. Go look it up for yourself. Go find the book that they got the information from, and you go look, and you go see if it's true. And that's what I do. That's just what I do. I go look for myself because I want to know. I want to know. But I understand some people can't, they don't do that. Some people don't enjoy reading. Some people they don't like things like that. So that's why I share the information that I have and that I know. And that's how I was raised, to share that information, to share that information. So what we're doing wrong, we're not sharing information and we're not keeping ourselves informed. We got to do that. We got to do that. We got to share information and we got to keep ourselves informed. Just like how Neil Chill came on here and shared her information about Crazy Boy. Just like she did that. Just like she shared her information in the Gambia. This is what we got to do. This is what we got to do because we see this is what we're dealing with. And I'm telling you, it's not a government issue. It's a frontier economy issue. It's just the way it is, people. It's just the way it is. It's not going to go away. It's not going to stop. The government will probably arrest more people, send more, well, not arrest them, but find more people or do whatever. Some people may be arrested. I don't know. But this issue, it's not going to go away. It's the nature of the beast. As you grow, as you remember how the Wild Wild West was. Remember that place? Remember how it was here in the West? That was a frontier economy. It's exactly like that. That's what we're dealing with. Until everything gets settled down, it's anything goes, people. It's anything goes. And you gotta be on your game. If you're gonna dibble and dabble in that type of economy, you gotta be on your game. And that's not be nasty to the people. That's not don't trust the people. That's just know what's going on. Be aware of what's going on. Be aware. Anybody with places and spaces, she's right. Anybody with money is a target. They don't care. They don't care. And that was the craziness in reading when I was reading all this. It was just like anybody can get it. Like the kids say here, anybody can get it. Anybody can get it. That means anybody is a target. And that's how it is for real. They'll do it to their own family members if they could. Okay? These scammers, they'll do it to their own family if they could. If they could get away with it, they would. And it's so sad, but it's true. It's true. So let's read. Remember, we said I told you to remember two companies. One of them was a company called Solid Properties. Okay. So listen to this comment. It says Solid Properties. This was from the survey that What's on Gambia did. He said Solid Properties are the biggest scammers in the Gambia, and some friends have been buying lands from them in the UK, US, Sweden, and Germany, and yet they still didn't get any papers from them. And they never pick your calls after completing your payment. Some people in Europe, I'm sorry. So he's saying, so people in Europe never buy from them. Be careful. Now, this is on Facebook, but I'm reading. Okay. So he's saying after these people at Solid Properties, after you buy, you send them all your money after you complete your land purchase, they don't answer your phone call anymore. They quit answering your phone call. Okay. Then here's another one. Let's see if this one's going to come through. So while we're waiting for that one to come up, oh, wait, here it comes. It says, so this is also something that you got to be cautious of. These companies will switch their names. They'll change their name. They'll just get it like the one with the teachers. Remember, the teacher said that this company just changed management, changed their name, just became somebody new. And there was the end of their money. Well, this is what these companies do. So listen to this. This one says, can someone clear up my doubt here? Is GAM Housing Estate and Sanu GAM Housing Estate the same company? Remember, we read about Sunu, I hope I'm saying it right. Sunu, SUNU, okay? They're asking if that company is actually GAM Housing Estate, okay? If they're the same company. Are they? If they are, they must be totally banned in this country. They are really scamming citizens in this country. In this country. I am going, she said the court is Belahai. I am going to the court for almost oh my God. She said she's been going to court for almost 2 years now, simply because she needed her money back or she wanted the land from Sunu GAM Housing Estate. Okay. She says, the thing will end up taking the law. Oh, no, I'm not going to read that. Well, basically, this lady thinks that people are going to take the law. Well, I'm going to just read. That's what she said. I think the thing is, people will end up taking the law into their own hands because it's definitely crazy and painful for someone taking your money just like that. And you will be like meeting with them every day in the streets. This has to stop. So this is what I'm saying. This is another Gambian. This person obviously is in Gambia, okay? She's saying she's seeing this person all the time. This person took her money, and she's saying these people think that they're going to just keep getting away with taking people's money. It's not going to happen. And what did we just hear? This man traveled to the Gambia to talk to this man about his money, but the man set him up, and he ended up in jail. So that's somebody in the Gambia. Let's read this one. So she was dealt with GAM Housing. Okay. Remember that name. So this is this should answer your question. It's hard to detect because the level of scammers and how they are scamming us is very dusty. So we can't identify who the biggest scammers are. So the Gambians are even saying that this level of scamming is something that they've not even seen before. They can't even identify it. I don't know how they use the term dusty, but it don't seem the same way we do. The way he said it sounds like dusty, like it's confusing. The way they're doing it is so confusing, or it's so covert, so hidden, we don't even know what they're doing. So this person says, excuse me, Karinga Real Estate, and this is the Yakuba guy we talked about, will sell you plots with all the necessary documentation without owning the land. They are currently facing legal summons to pay customers who bought from them in 2018 to refund at the current market value. Okay, so we talked about those companies. Let me see if we got questions first. Okay, so we don't. So this company, Solid Properties, when I first started Googling about the Gambia and land scammers, I came up with an article from All of Africa. All of Africa is an international newspaper. See, every time I talk for a lot, my mouth gets dry. This is what happened. So, All of Africa is an international newspaper. Okay. And in this international newspaper, they did an article on Solid Properties. Solid Properties of the Gambia and that they were scammers. Wait a minute. You got to first understand how big All of Africa newspaper is. AllOfAfrica.com is an international online newspaper that covers all of Africa. All of Africa. So if you want to know what's going on in Africa, you go to this website, this newspaper. So for this to be featured on All of Africa, and also to be featured in this one is this newspaper. Let me give you the initials. FOROYAA, Foria newspaper. And Mr. Jallo Y wrote this article about Solid Properties. So two newspaper articles wrote about this company. Two newspaper companies wrote about this company in April of 2021. Okay, so this is what they said. Solid Properties is a real estate company, and it's been swindling its investors. Solid Properties is a registered real estate company. So we can't now people, now we cannot go by. Remember, we were saying, okay, are they registered? Let's make sure that they're registered. No, we can't even go by that anymore because Solid Properties is registered. Solid Properties is a legally registered real estate company in the Gambia. So we can't even go by that anymore, okay? So this company have estates in different parts of the country. So it has estates all over the Gambia. So recently, some of their customers accused them of cheating them. These are the customers' claims. First, the customers claim this, okay? Now this was really just bad. The customers claim that they provided them with fake phone numbers. So just imagine, you're making your payment to this company, you're sending your money to this company faithfully. But when you have a question for this company, you can't even reach them because the phone number is fake. So the phone numbers were fake. They contacted the company. The newspaper contacted the company, okay, about the fake phone numbers. Solid explained. They said, the company said that it was an administrative lapse. An administrative lapse. That's why their customers had fake phone numbers, okay? They admitted that the phone numbers did not work, but they said it was simply an administrative lapse and the issue would be corrected, okay? So, right, they're going to correct it. It's nothing but phone numbers, right? Okay, so let's see what else happened. So one of the customers they interviewed was named Mr. Soy, S-O-Y-E, Soy. He purchased a plot of land from this same real estate company. And I think it was called Brickama Estates. So these are real places, guys. So in Brickama Estates, he purchased this land from this Solid Property, okay? He was provided with an Akalo land transfer paper, right? So we hear that all the time. We hear, oh, you need this transfer from the Akalo. You need a letter from the Akalo, right? You own the land. That means you can buy the land or the land is yours, right? No. The Akalo transfers are not official transfers, okay? You got to go to the official transfers come from other agencies and they are needed to officially transfer the land to you. So without these documents from the Department of Physical Planning, which is one of them, you have to get their clearance. You don't own this land, okay? So one of the things you have to do other than get these other certificates is go to the Department of Physical Planning and you got to get a certificate. You got to get a clearance from them. So this person, Mr. Soy, couldn't get the documents of ownership from Solid. He could not get a clearance from the Department of Physical Planning, okay? He said he had paid $150,000 for 2 plots of land. He said the lands were 75 Dalasi apiece. He said he felt like he was scammed because he completed, listen to this, guys. He completed this transaction in 2018. And he still, to this date, 2021, he completed in 2018, 2021, he still has not got his plot of land, nor has he got any documentation stating that he owns this land. Okay, here's another person. This person's last name, this is Ibrahima Sise. He said he paid out to this solid company again. He paid 142,000 Dalasi for 2 plots of land in Jambanjelly. And typical real estate scam, which is they said this place is typically where the real estate scam goes on. Okay, he says they took almost 1.5 of the payment for the Akalo to transfer the land. Okay, Cisse said he paid $5,000. Okay, now listen to this, to the Akalo, because he said the Akalo didn't have the money to go travel or to do what he needed to do to get this land transferred. So on top of paying for his land, Cisse also paid $5,000 to the Akalo for the land transfer paper. Okay, they said this is another scam that is often done, where the Akalo often needs money, so the buyer offers to pay the price of the land transfer. So the Akalo will say, well, I don't have the money to do this, or I don't have the money to get the land transfer. I don't have the money to do any of this. Okay. So then what happens? That person will volunteer, who's buying the land, they'll volunteer to give the Akalo the money to pay for the land transfer. So after paying for the land transfer, this man is yet to show him the plots of land he paid for. So Mr. Cisse paid this money for the land. He's paid for over half of the land. He's paid for $5,000, not dollars, 5,000 Dalasi for this land transfer paper. And again, the company Solid has yet to show him plots of land that he paid for. He doesn't even know what the land looks like. So let's see, we're going to stop there for a second and see if anybody else has any questions or any comments. So let's see. Johanna said, would the use of an attorney, yes, help with the land scam? And yes, because that was what we were going to talk about as soon as we finish. Then we're going to go to what can we do. So that's one of the biggest things you can do. That's like huge. But I wouldn't hire an attorney over the internet. I wouldn't hire an attorney over YouTube. I would travel to the Gambia. I would go meet with different attorneys. I would research. I would ask different people. I would go and find an attorney. Yes, I would, to go and handle all of this for me. I would not be over there doing this by myself. I would not be on the internet, on YouTube, meeting people, buying land from them and buying property from them. I wouldn't even be renting houses from them. At this point, we're going to do also rental property scams. I wouldn't even be renting property from them because the rental properties are now scams. I wouldn't do any of that without an attorney because at this point, it's just not safe. It's just like, who can you trust? You don't know who you can trust. But you don't really even know the rules. That's another thing. We don't really know the rules. We don't know the laws. But an attorney from the Gambia will. So yes, that is to me the best thing that you can do. And again, when we get to that part, like what can we do? What we can do, that is the first thing we can do. First thing is take a trip there to see if you even want to live there. Take a trip there, see if you want to live there. Take a trip there, see where you want to live there. Then once you do that, then start invest, take another trip there and hire an attorney. On that trip, hire an attorney. The Gambia is an expensive place to travel to. Like the tickets, they're not that much. They went up recently, but I don't know why that was. I think it had something to do with the election because they went back down. But now, well, when I'm planning to travel there, they're back at a reasonable price. But for December this year, they're still crazy high. But it's not that it's expensive to go to the Gambia. So you can go to the Gambia. You can buy tickets and travel there. It's not going to break you like that. So people need to go there. You need to go. If you're planning on living there, how can you not afford to travel there? I don't get that. You need to go and travel there. First time, go check it out. See if you like it. See if you want to live there. Check out the neighborhoods. Check out where people hang out. Check out the scene. Check out the environment. Check out the people. Check out the culture. Is this someplace I want to live? Check out the food. Is this someplace I want to live? Is this someplace I want to bring my family to? Okay, you decide, yeah, that's what I want to do. Then what am I going to do then? Okay, second trip. Get you an attorney. Go attorney shopping. Go looking around. Go say, okay, let me see who I want to hire as an attorney. I want an attorney to help me with this land purchase. So you go to the attorney. You ask the attorney, do you know anybody? He probably won't suggest anybody. But ask around. Do your research like you're doing now. Watch different videos to find out who's not on these lists. I don't even know. Is it easier to find out who? Ask if they're on the list or ask if they're not on the list. The list is so long. Then hire you an attorney. But all this, go on the internet, on YouTube, just, willy-nilly buying land, making purchases. That's crazy. And then you want to sit and scream, oh, I was scammed. Of course you were scammed. Of course you were scammed. Of course you were taken advantage of. But like I said, in this environment, though, we can't even say that. It's bad. This is something you got to use caution with. You've got to use caution. You've got to use caution because this is an environment, like I said, it's like the wild, wild west. And if you guys remember how they got land in the wild, wild west, it's the same thing. It's up in the air. Okay. Let me see. Where did we leave off at? Yes. So to answer the question, yes, an attorney would be a wise move. That would be a smart move to get an attorney, a very smart move. So then there was a customer. Do we got any more questions before I go on? Then there was a customer named Ibrahima Jallo. Okay, Ibrahima Jallo purchased land from the same company, Solid. Again, he completed his payment. He was allocated a plot of land. The pegs were placed around the land, but guess what? The Department of Physical Planning did not give him clearance. But guess what? He couldn't do anything. He couldn't build on that land. He couldn't do anything. The Brikama Area Council, also refused to give him clearance. So imagine this now. Your land is paid for. You got your plots of your little pegs around where you're going to build your fence. You're ready. You don't get clearance from physical planning. You don't get clearance from the council. Wow. They said it was a total of 7 people who bought land from Solid Properties and who have not received their land. Wow. So that was Solid Properties, you guys. So what have they done? We have questions about Solid Properties. So y'all remember that one. That was Solid Properties. That was the one that was also in the survey. Okay. So Solid Properties was also in the survey, and they were also in the international newspaper for this land scamming. Okay. So this person, Mr. Jallo, he said he lost contact with the company. He said the employees, they quit replying to his messages. They didn't return his calls. So basically, it looks like he hasn't taken these people to court or tried to do any use the court as an avenue of recourse. So he said they quit answering his phone calls, they quit taking his messages. So then there's another victim. He began his payment for his property in 2014. He paid 14,000 Dalasi to Solid Properties, and he decided to opt out of the contract. Okay, I remember this one. So I think this one was a lady, actually. She decided to opt out of the contract. Okay, and she was told that there was a $4,000 Dalasi penalty. So she said, okay, she would pay the penalty, but she still needed the 10,000 Dalasi. I forgot, but something happened where she was not going to be able to make this move. So she just decided, I need to just stop now. And she contacted them. She was supposed to be able to get this money back. He paid the penalty, okay? And she was entitled to the $10,000 deposit back of the 14,000 Dalasi, okay? So guess what? This lady has been trying to get her money back since 2014. She has not gotten any refund as of yet. The company does not have any documents needed to sell this land. So the land they were selling her, the land she was selling, she was paying on, that she had paid on, they didn't even have documents to sell the land that she was paying for. So that's why these people cannot get clearance. The customers cannot get clearance because they lack the proper documentation. Okay. Then there's another property that was in this international scamming newspaper called African Properties Estate Scam. African Properties were also another property that was in the survey. Remember, we read about African properties. In February of 2021, they appeared in Freedom newspaper. They did a story on scamming in the Gambia. They said in 2017, someone bought land from African Properties at this estate called Jamboree Estates, formerly known as Galaxy Properties. Okay. Jamboree Estates was located on a family disputed land. Now, let me explain to you what is family disputed land. I don't know exactly what the case is in this situation, but a family disputed land is what we were talking about with the communal properties, okay? A family disputed land is like, say, like I told you, I have my DNA shows I'm from Nigeria. Okay, so say I find out exactly what village I come from in Nigeria. I found out exactly what group I come from. I find out who my family, I find out everything. I find out who my grandfather is, and I go to Nigeria and I say, somebody, my grandfather, they have land. They automatically have land because your family lives on land. So that land is communal land. It belongs to everybody. It belongs to all the generations, okay? So say the people there decide, well, we need some money. We want to sell this land. So let's hurry up and sell it. Let's do it without the cousins knowing. We're going to cut the cousins out the deal. We're just going to do it real quick. They don't know. They don't know. They in America. They don't know what's going on. Okay. So I find all this out. I decide I want to go back to the village. I want to go back to my grandfather's land. I want to build on that land. Well, guess what? If somebody's building on that land, if somebody's bought that land, I take that person to court. Guess who's going to get that land? Guess who that land belongs to? That land belongs to Kiki. That's who that land belongs to because that's my grandfather's land. And that makes it my land because it's communal property. So this is what a family disputed land. That could, well, I don't know exactly in this situation, but family disputed land means there's a dispute between that family. Somebody has come back to say, hey, no, you can't sell that land. I want that land. I own that land. That land belongs to me and my children. You can't sell that land. So Solid knew that this was going on. They knew this Jamboree estate was located on family disputed land. Even if you have something built on the land, people, and somebody comes back, a family member comes back and disputes that land deal, they're going to take your house. Whatever you have built on that land belongs to them. It belongs to them. So you just built up that house for them. You just cleared that land for them. You just did whatever for them because that land is communal property and it belongs to them. So if they make a claim to it, I'm sorry. That's what the court's going to tell you. I'm sorry. So, and they take monthly okay, so where do we stop? They continue to take these monthly payments and they continue to sell this land, even though they knew it was on family disputed property. So these people who bought this land, they realized it was a scam when it was time to go visit the land. So just imagine it's time to go visit the land, okay? And then all of a sudden they keep stalling you. There's no land to go visit. There's always some kind of stall. There's always something, an excuse why you can't visit the land because there is no land. They said then the people realized there was no land because they never could take them to see this land. The customers had invested 20,000 Dalasi. They state that African properties did not own, oh my God, African properties did not own any land. These people were just scamming outright, according to this article. They did not own any land. Listen to this, y'all. Remember that one company we talked about? Casa Kunda Estates? Well, guess what this reporter said? They own another property called Casa Kunda Estate. So this is what these people do. They start one company. I'm going to scam you here until people get hip to it, till people get knowledge of it. Once people get wind of it, I'm going to switch up. I'm going to change the name and I'm going to change it to something else. And I'm going to become somebody else. But at heart, I'm still a land scammer. This is exactly what they're doing. I'm still scamming. I'm still a scamming real estate company, but I've switched my name. All right. So what else happened? This is crazy. So he switched the name. So the reporter said that this company owns this same real estate company. And this Casa Kunda real estate company was also another company that was scamming people. So here's another one. Any question? No. We're going to stop right there. Then we're going to talk about the Gambia real estate African mode. Okay, African impact. Okay, I got to talk about now. We're going to go switch up. And we're going to talk about the Gambia Import and Export Proclamation Act. You want to say, what does that have to do with anything? That has to do with everything, because I wonder if we should just say this to next week. No, let's do it this week, because then we can talk about it next week when we're looking at the other scammers. Well, I'm not going to, I don't mean to call these people scammers. We'll know but these people we just talked about, we know they scammers because the court has brought charges on them. So we know these people are scammers. Okay. So let's talk about the Gambia Impact and Export Proclamation Agency Act of 2015. Does anybody know what that is or what that's about? That's very important. Along with these economic investing laws and freedom of frontier economy laws and all of that, it's very important in this Proclamation Act. What did we call it again? The Gambia Import and Export. No, I'm sorry, it's not proclamation. Let me read it right. The Gambia Import and Export Promotion Agency Act of 2015. I can't find my glasses. I think I left them in my room. The Gambia Import and Export Promotion Agency Act of 2015. Does anybody know what that is? No? Okay, let's talk about it. It says investors can purchase or lease property, lease private property or state-owned land. They can dispose of it or transfer their interest in the land. Okay? So this act in 2015 says that investors can purchase or lease private property or state-owned land. And it also says that you can dispose of it or you can transfer their interest in the land. Okay? Now, that to me, that means we can buy property, right, y'all? That looks like we can buy property. We have freedom to buy property. We can buy the property. We can sell the property. We can trade the property. We can build onto the property, whatever we want to build on, right? Okay. So listen to this. The State Lands Act of 1991, caption 5702. Again, the State Lands Act 1991, caption 5702. It stipulates foreigners can only have access to residential land for up to 21 years in areas no longer than 2,500 square miles, located more than 150 kilometers from the high water mark as designated by the Minister of the Land of Regional Government. Underdeveloped non-residential lands cannot legally be leased or assigned to foreigners. If land is leased, lease can be terminated without compensation. All right, do y'all get that? Before I move to what is a customary land. Okay? Does everybody understand that? Because to me, these two things contradict each other. These two policies to me contradict each other. So one of them says we can purchase land, we can have it anywhere, we can, do what we want to. And then there's one that puts on these tight stipulations, these tight regulations. It even tells you where you can have this land. But nobody's ever mentioned that. Did you notice that? Have you all ever heard anybody mention this Land Act? That there's stipulations on where you can purchase land? There's stipulations on how much land you can purchase? There's stipulations on foreigners can only have access to residential land for up to 21 years? Has anybody ever even heard that? I haven't. And what is this high water mark as designated by the Minister of Land and Regional government. Have you guys heard any of that before? No, no, we haven't. No, we haven't. And that's why I'm telling you, it's important that we educate ourselves, that we know that we can go and ask these questions. We can go and take this to our attorney and say, well, excuse me, Mr. Lawyer, explain to me this State Lands Act of 1991, because this other promotion act, this Gambia Impact and Export Promotion Act of 2015 tells me that investors, that I'm an investor, that I can purchase and lease property anywhere in the Gambia. I can own land anywhere in the Gambia. But then the State Lands Act of 1991 tells me something different. These are the things that need to be explained. I'm not a lawyer in the Gambia. I don't know what this means. I know it looks confusing to me. I know I wouldn't be doing business purchasing any land without talking to an attorney and have him explain this to me. The lease can be terminated without compensation. We just talked about that, remember? But people are still purchasing land in the Gambia. People are still not hiring attorneys, not doing anything responsible, but trusting these people on YouTube, trusting somebody who got a website who says they love Africa. So I'm going to go invest in them. I'm going to go buy land with them. I'm going to go do all of that. And then they get scammed. Yeah, that's interesting. And this is for foreign. This isn't for Gambians. This is for outsiders. Okay, so then there's something else called customary land. This customary land is acquired by foreigners, but you must obtain approval from the governor of that region. So to me, that means if I want to live, say I see some land that I like, and that's considered customary land, or I can't really live there, quite, okay? But I can go to the governor of that region, and I can say, Mr. Governor, I really like this land, and I really want to invest in this area and this region. Can you please give me approval to live on this property? That's what I believe customary land means. Then we have something called Region Land Register. And these are land agreements that must be registered with this agency when duration exceeds 3 years. So if you're gonna, okay, let me finish. Agreement must be in writing, and the maximum lease term is 50 years. This clause can be added for another 50 years. So listen, maybe this is what people are doing and saying they're buying the land. So the Region Land Register says this is an agreement, but this agreement must be registered with the Region Land Register. So say you and somebody agree to sell you some land, okay? And the land is more than 3 years. They're going to sell it to you. The agreement is for more than 3 years. This written agreement lasts for more than 3 years, okay? So the agreement has to be in writing, okay? But it can be a lease. It has to be like a written lease, but this lease cannot be more than 50 years. But there's a clause that can be added to the lease, okay? And this clause can give you an additional 50 years. So what I'm saying is this is so confusing. This is so much legal information here, so much complex policy that I would never even think of trying to go on this land purchasing journey without an attorney from the Gambia. There's no way. You can't even make sense of this, because this says something different. This says it says you can't own it. It says you can lease it for 50 years, but you can add an additional 50 years. But it has to be an agreement between you and the person who owns the land. Then there's customary land. So this is all really confusing. But it looks like it's very, but the good thing is, it looks like there's various ways that you can own property and that you can own land in the Gambia. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Because in the United States, there's only one way to own a house or land in this country, and it's through the bank. Okay. But it looks like there's different it's different ways for you to get inside the Gambia and invest in their economy and invest in owning land. But the smartest thing to do is not go onto the YouTube and get the most popular person. The smartest thing to do is, like I said, take a trip there, like Neil Cool did. Check things out. You like it? Okay. Check out the neighborhoods, because Gambia has different neighborhoods. Different neighborhoods have different vibes. Figure out which vibe you like. Okay. You like it? You like the vibe? Okay. I want to live in Kotu. All right. Let me go look and see. There's land in Kotu. Let me go look and see if there's a house in Kotu. I might not even want to live. And I might not even want to. I like Kotu so well. I might just want to live in Kotu, and I might just want to buy a house in Kotu. Okay. So go check that out. Go see. Go see the houses over there. Go price the houses over there. But you got to kind of do that on the low. You got to get like Gambian friends to like ask how much are, houses in that neighborhood. So again, you got to have Gambian connection. And then go get you an attorney. Don't trust anybody. Again, like Places and Spaces said, they're doing this to anybody who has money. If you have money, we're going to scam you. If you have money, we're going to come after you. If you have money and we think we can get it, we're going to do whatever we can in our power to get it. And that's just the reality of the situation. There is a problem. There is an economic hardship going on in the Gambia due to the tourism being down. And that's just the reality of the situation. And people are suffering financially. And people need a way. People need a means to get some money. They do. And whenever this happens, you're going to see more scammers. You're going to see things like this going on because people need a way to make money. And this is just, and then people were saying, why were they doing it? But people would just simply say, it's an easy way to make money. It's just an easy way to make money. Seriously. It's a quick, easy way to make money. Like the one company we read about who just take your money, then quit talking to you. That's a quick, easy way to make money. Block you on everything. I can just block you on everything, change my phone number, change the name of my company, don't give you a real name or use a nickname. And you're in America, how are you going to find me? You don't even know me. No. You people, we need to get an attorney. We need to check out attorneys because this is just too much. And as you see, maybe about 6 or 7 of these cases were not facing criminal charges, but most of these people we talked about tonight were facing criminal charges. Most of them were. Most of them were. So you can't say like when I was researching this, people were saying, what is the Gambian government doing? They felt like the government wasn't really doing enough about this issue. But again, what can the government really do about the issue? You have to bring it to the government, let the government investigate, and then the government will do what the government does. But government can't regulate morality. And that's what you guys don't understand. Government cannot help you be a morally correct person. But what they can do when you commit a crime, they can arrest you, They can take you to jail. They can fine you. They can do whatever they've done. But you can't hold somebody accountable for something that somebody else is doing and you don't know anything about it. You don't know anything about it. But that's just what goes on. So once the government found out, it seems like they are doing something about it. But you have to, I think people have to, because in all these cases, it seemed like they trusted these people. They trusted these people. And I don't recall one person saying they had an attorney. Not one person do I recall saying they had an attorney. Not one. Now, even the Gambians, I don't recall any of them saying they had an attorney. An attorney could investigate. An attorney can make sure everything is on the up and up. An attorney can make sure everything is legit. Something that the average person, we can't do. Just like we just read all this policy that has to do with buying land in the Gambia, and as you see, we could barely understand what they were talking about. Don't take this into your own hands, people. Enough of us have made this mistake. We need to be smart about this. So that's where we're going to stop tonight. Those were the real estate companies. And like I said, it was so many more. It was so many more. I just had to stop. These are the real estate companies that are not on YouTube. Some of the real estate companies are on YouTube, okay? So we'll talk about the people selling land. We're not going to call them scammers. We're going to talk about the people selling land. Well, yeah, they're land scammers on YouTube. But I don't think any of the YouTube people have really been prosecuted. I don't know how we're going to do that unless we find complaints. We have to find complaints where people say, like the comments we read, that you scammed me, YouTube person. You know, you took my money, YouTube person, and you never got back with me. We got to have that before we can say it's a scam, because it's got to meet our definition of a scam. Fake documents, not selling land they're not supposed to sell. What was the other one? Fake documents, not selling land they were supposed to sell. They don't have a right to sell the land. Is that all of them? I think that was it. So that's what we're going to do next week. We're going to have to look at, I'm going to have to look at how we can put this definition on these people on YouTube. Because these people on YouTube, from what I see, they're just, have they sold any? Well, the one lady says she has. AP, the Queen people, the AP and Queen Jody said they've sold land. I think Blackson has sold land. So we do have people out there where we can look and see if we find any complaints. But if we don't find complaints, I don't know how we're going to say they're land scamming. I just don't know. I know we can probably question, okay, are they, do they have money to do this? We can question that. But to say they're land scamming without complaint, that's going to be hard to do and make it stick. That we probably will not be able to do. That'll just be calling people names without facts. And we don't do that. But we're going to look and see. We are going to look and see what the data says about the YouTube people who sell land. Are they scammers or are they land sellers? We don't know. Are they agents or are they scammers? We don't know. Do they sell you land that they say is a vacation property or a retirement dream come true? And it's really in the middle of nowhere? No infrastructure, no nothing? We're going to see. Do they have documentation? Do they give you proper documentation after you pay for your land? We're going to see. If they don't do those things, if they meet those two things, then they're land scammers. Okay. So we're going to do those. We're going to do them next week. We're going to also talk about realty scams. And we're going to do YouTube who are the YouTube land scammers? Who does the data show are the YouTube land scammers? And who are the rent people who rent? The rental scammers. The rental scammers, because they're out there. Because I told you when I was trying to, I was seriously thinking about relocating, right? Repatriating. I was seriously just really ready to do it. But when I started getting all these different prices on rental properties, how they were going up and up and up, excuse me, that's when I said, no, that's when I knew something was going on, because the average house they were telling me for a 2-bedroom, I only wanted a 2-bedroom, just me and my niece. Do you know they were telling me it was $800 for a 2-bedroom house in the Gambia? Then I even started looking at apartments, and they were $800. So I'm like, how can a house be $800 and how can an apartment be $800? Please tell me that. How can they both be $800? No answer. Cricket. So I just decided, no, let me just wait till this hot Gambia real estate market cools down, because I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And again, I have people in the Gambia looking for me also, but no, it was still running into the same thing. They can smell when there's money involved, okay? They can smell when there's dollars, euros, what's British pounds. When any of that is involved, they can smell it. All right, y'all. So that's what we're going to talk about next week. Does anybody have any questions before we get off of here? Yeah, I think that's what we're going to talk about. I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to talk about next week. We finished up all the real estate companies. Whew, I pushed through them. Y'all didn't ask any questions tonight. So, okay, are y'all good? Y'all don't have no more questions? We getting off here early tonight. We usually on here for 2 hours and 46 minutes, almost 3 hours. We've been on here 2 hours and 7 minutes tonight. That's good. All right, so nobody has any questions. If nobody has any questions, then I will see you guys next week at 8 o'clock. And remember, we're going to talk about the YouTube land scammers. Who are the YouTube land scammers? Who are the rental scammers? Not land scammers, the rental scammers. We're going to talk about the YouTube land scammers and the rental scammers, okay? So that's all I have for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next week at 8 o'clock.